The sun disappears for half the year in this remote Alaskan town. Imagine a place where the sun disappears for 6 months. What would it be like to live there? Would you survive? Welcome back, everyone. Here, I bring you the greatest stories on Earth. This is the story of the city that sleeps for 6 months. Seriously, this is Barrow. It's the northernmost city in the United States. And every year around late November, it experiences something called polar night. The sun essentially disappears for about 2 months until late January. During this time, the sun never rises above the horizon. For locals, it's just another part of everyday life. They call it the city that goes dark. Now, it's worth noting that no real city sleeps for exactly 6 months. But Barrow goes dark or sunless for months. And there are other Arctic cities like Utqiaġvik in Norway that do the same. So we're using dramatic license here. So what actually happens during the polar night? Well, first off, there's no sunrise for weeks and then months. By mid-December, temperatures can drop below -30°C. Even though it's the middle of the day, the sky only glows dim blue or purple during this time. This is the local noon. In fact, the sun is at its highest point in the sky for the entire month. You can see how all this would mess with your circadian rhythms. How do people cope with these long periods without sunlight? Well, they use special bright lights to stay mentally alert. Schools and businesses stay open and kids play in the snow under the street. There's a strong sense of community during these dark months. The mayor of Barrow said, quote, "We don't have much choice but to adapt. It's just the way of life here." But why does this happen? Why do some places on Earth experience 6 months of darkness? Well, it has to do with the tilt of our planet. Earth is tilted on its axis by about 23.5 degrees. This tilt causes the poles to have extreme variations between day and night throughout the year. During the winter solstice, which occurs around December 20, the northern pole has 24 hours of night, while the southern pole has 24 hours of daylight. Then 6 months later, the situation reverses. Now the North Pole has 24 hours of daylight and the South Pole has 24 hours of night. So when people say the Earth is sleeping during the winter solstice, they are using a figure of speech. It's not sleeping literally, it's just dark. No sunlight. By the way, this phenomenon also has a flip side. Places that experience 6 months of darkness also experience 6 months of continuous daylight. It's just the way our planet is tilted. The midnight sun is a big deal. For the people who live there, it affects them in a different way than the polar night. Of course, they don't get to sleep much. And scientists say that lack of sleep can cause serious problems like hypertension, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and depression. Imagine being so restless that you can't sleep for months. Yeah, it's a real thing. All this is to say that both too much light and too little light can be bad for you. It seems like humans function best with a good balance of both. So what do you think? Would you survive 6 months without sunlight? Comment if you'd visit Barrow during the polar night. And for more stories like this one, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.